friends, I'm Akash, and this is your News of the Week for the week of December 5th to December 11th, 2021. I'm Akash Cody. Let's get right into the headlines. We begin with the United States announcing that they have officially decided to do a diplomatic official boycott of the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing, China. Now, by this, it means that they will not be sending any diplomatic officials to the 2022 Olympics as a protest against the mistreatment and even genocide of the native Uyghur people who live in Western China. Now, this mistreatment being conducted by the Chinese government is simply horrifying, and so the United States has decided to not send any diplomatic officials to the Winter Olympics. So that is what's going to go on with the United States and the 2022 Olympics. But after that, we've got some more interesting news, is that the longest standing Chancellor of Germany, who is the most powerful woman leader of any country in the world, that's right, we're talking about Angela Merkel. The Chancellor of Germany has officially retired following this year's German election of chancellors. Now, she has served many years, 16 years from 2005 up until 2021. And she has done so much for Germany during that time. I'm going to talk more about her and who's coming to replace her in just a moment. But first, we'll take a look at our last story, which revolves around the Texas abortion law that was placed into law and signed by Texas Governor Greg Abbott a few months ago, has officially reached the Supreme Court. And a decision was made, and that decision was, it will not be repealed. However, abortion clinics can sue over this bill. Now, that is a very interesting twist that changes everything, and I'm going to be talking more about this very soon. But first, let's take a look at each of these stories in further detail, and we begin with the 2022 Olympic diplomatic boycott by the United States of America. So, the Uyghur people are a native people in Western China who are mostly Muslim, and as a result of this, the fact that they're Muslim, since the Chinese government is very hostile to religion as a whole, they've decided that they're going to try to treat or re-educate the Uyghurs in re-education camps, as they're called. And by re-educate, this pretty much is the equivalent of trying to hostilely change minds by forcing them to do things that they would have never done in the first place, and by forcing them to switch out from their way that they've always lived into this new form of thought that China's been ramping about. And this has sometimes even led to mistreatment and even genocide in several cases. And as a result of the horrid treatment that the Uyghurs are going through right now in Western China, the United States has announced that they will not be sending any diplomatic officials to the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing, China at all. Now, they did stop short of a full boycott from the Olympics because they didn't want to punish their own athletes who had trained for years for this. They did not want to punish them with something that was another country's fault. And as such, the United States athletes will still be competing at the Winter Olympics next year. But despite this, they still will not be sending the diplomatic officials to the 2022 Olympics in order to protest against the treatment of Uyghurs in Western China through the re-education camps that China has been setting around, using it as a sort of facade to a place filled with mistreatment and genocide. So that is what is going on with America's diplomatic boycott of the 2022 Winter Olympics in China. So let's take a look at our next story, which is the most powerful woman leader of any country in the world, who is also the long-standing Chancellor of Germany. Angela Merkel is now retiring this year. She was first elected in 2005 and has ever since won 3 more elections in 2009, 2013, and 2017. That is 4 terms totaling 16 years of office, of time in office, which is an absolutely awesome amount. Now, she has done so much for the wonderful country of Germany, and now that she's retiring, she's paving the way for more people to help and serve the country as chancellor. Now, chancellor is pretty much Germany's term, or Germany and Austria and several other countries, but it is pretty much the equivalent of the head of state. And so that is the famed system that Germany uses, which is unique to Germany and I believe Austria. And if I have it right, those are the 2 main countries in which this works and this takes place. So the chancellor here. The Chancellor, Angela Merkel, started in 2005, won re-election in 2009, 2013, and 2017, and then in October of 2018, she announced that she would not be running for office again as the Chancellor of Germany, and that she would be stepping down as leader of her party, the Christian Democratic Union, very soon after. So, that is what happened, and in this election, Angela Merkel announced she would not be running, and so ended her 4 amazing terms as leader and chancellor of Germany. And because of her long-standing tenure, she pretty much became one of the major figureheads for the European Union as a whole, because she is the she is the person with the long-standing tenure of any country in the EU. So given she's the long-standing head of state compared to any other country in the European Union, she is pretty much the head of the EU, and that's why she has held so much power as the Chancellor of Germany. And so it's a very wonderful tale. And so this year, Angela Merkel left office, and now the coalition agreement between 3 major parties, the Social Democratic Party of Germany, who are the main opposition, then the Green Party of Germany, and then the Free Democratic Party of Germany. Now, basically, this is the SPD, the Greens, and the FDP. And these are the political parties that have formed a coalition and that will be serving from this point onwards for 4 years. And it is headed by the leader of the Social Democratic Party of Germany, who is Olaf Scholz. So he is Germany's brand new chancellor, and that is pretty cool. So that's what's going on with Germany and Angela Merkel. Now, our next story, we have just one more story to take a look at, and it is the very contentious Texas abortion law that was signed into law by Texas Governor Greg Abbott a few weeks ago. Now, it has been very contentious because it basically meant that for a pregnant woman, if her baby has a heartbeat detected, then from that point onwards, the woman is not allowed to have an abortion right when the heartbeat is detected. And usually this is roughly 6 weeks in. And this is way before any woman knows that, she's pregnant. So this is what's going on. So this basically, once a heartbeat is detected, you can't have an abortion. And that is pretty much the bill that was passed into law. And this was this was not good at all for the women's rights groups who began to contest this law. And eventually, this case made its way to the very top, the United States Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court officially decided that the law would not be repealed. But there is a catch, and that is that abortion clinics can sue over this bill, saying that, it's unconstitutional and so on. So this is a very interesting twist to the story that's taking place right now. And, we're just gonna have to see what exactly happens with this case. So the new law is that, or the new ruling by the Supreme Court is that this bill will remain in law, but any abortion clinic can sue over this bill. And before this bill even came, the abortion was already legalized for a few decades through Roe v. Wade in the 1970s. And since then, which all legalized all abortion, now Texas has become the first state to ban abortion past the detection of heartbeat. And so that is pretty much what's going on with the Texas abortion bill. And that is all of your news of the week for the week of December 5th to December 11th, 2021. I'm Akasha Cody, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in another News of the Week. Goodbye.